So what is an anti-inflammatory lunch, and why do we mention the word anti-inflammatory? With each meal that we take, we can either cause inflammation in our body, or we can actually have the opposite effect, and that's why we call it anti-inflammatory, because it actually fights inflammation. So today I'm going to show you in my kitchen how I actually put together a basic lunch. This is just basically a framework, and you can actually be very creative and you can make many variations of these lunches. I actually just love it. This way of eating completely changed my life. I am Susan. I'm also a qualified health coach, and I actually specialize in taking clients through an elimination protocol. So let's get started, and let me show you actually how I put my lunch together. So if you watched my anti-inflammatory breakfast, I'll just put a link above, you will know that I put together a meal with different components, and we must make sure that we've got our proteins, that we've got our carbs, that we've got our healthy fats, and we've got our fruits for breakfast, and I do my veggies for lunch. And we also want a combination of raw and cooked, because both actually have many wonderful benefits for our body. And the reason why we eat is not just because we are actually hungry, but is because we actually want to feed our body, we want to feed our cells, and everything that we actually eat actually becomes part of us, and it's those nutrients that actually nourishes our blood, gives us clean blood, keeps us healthy, makes our cells healthy, and actually keeps us very happy. So let me show you the basics that I've got here today. So I've actually just lightly steamed some broccoli. Broccoli is from the cruciferous family. They are very rich in fibers, but also lots of phytonutrients. Then I've actually got leftover cooked quinoa. Quinoa is actually a gluten-free grain, and it's very healthy. So people that have to eat gluten-free, that's actually when we also take people through the strict phase, like the detox phase, we actually let them use gluten-free grain. So cooked quinoa is something that you can actually have for breakfast, you can actually have it for lunch. It's just got so many uses. And as I've told you before, I actually keep my food covered because I don't want my food to oxidize, to come in contact with the oxygen and then lose a lot of the nutrients. Here I actually made yesterday a salad, a lovely salad, and I've got some mung beans and brown lentils that I cooked, and I'm going to show you how I chop up my veggies. I've added some red cabbage raw, because we also, red cabbage or cabbage is also part of the cruciferous family, and it's got amazing anti-cancer benefits. So with each lunch, at least I try to get in a portion of raw cruciferous. It's either raw broccoli, raw cabbage, raw cauliflower. So today I'm going to do like a combination. Raw onion is extremely healthy for the gut. I chopped that up very fine, and I've got some raw grated carrots in here, and a bit of leftover cucumber, and I've just drizzled a bit of salt and lemon juice over it, gave it a good mix, and it is actually delicious. It's actually very simple, but so delicious. So in there I've got my veggies, and I've got my protein, which is my legumes, and they were also soaked and sprouted. And I will definitely, my next video will be where I will be showing how I actually do my soaking and my sprouting. So watch out for that one next week. Then I've also got some cooked sweet potato, and who doesn't love sweet potatoes? I've also explained before is that my goal is to try as much as organic veggies as possible, but I'm still learning with my gardening, so I also buy in stuff that's not necessarily which is just your normal produce, like the sweet potato. So I would actually peel it before I actually cook it, or you can first cook it if it's whole, and then you can peel it afterwards. So there's my combo of my orange sweet potato and my white one. Just lovely. So that is also my carbs. And then I've got a little bit of green pesto that I made from a lot of greens in my garden. This is so handy because I've got in here different salad leaves, and I've got spinach leaves, sweet potato greens, I've got a bit of celery, then I also put in avo, which is a healthy fat, and I've got some lemon juice, and I've got salt. So really very, very nice. I mean, this is like a big bunch of greens, and it just makes it much easier to eat and with the chewing. Then I made a salad dressing with my mayo, cashew mayo. I'll also put a link in for that again if you've missed that. It's one of our favorite dressings. We make with one recipe, we make a cashew cream cheese, and this is more, it's got more liquid in it. It's basically the same ingredients, but it's more runny. It's like a mayo. So yeah, this is my plate that I'm going to show you how I put my lunch together. But just to show you how I actually make it easy to get a lot of raw greens into my diet, I've got this tool. There's many different types of tools that's available on the market, and you will see now how easy it actually is to just start grating, and yeah, just keep away your fingers from those sharp blades. But you will see quick you can actually you'll see there I've got quite a bit there, and you can do this for every day, or like you saw what I did yesterday. I try not to make salads more than a day in advance. I just add up a lot of times with too much salad, and then I've got for the next day, saving some time. But yeah, it is actually better if you can do it fresh, but if it's going to help you to actually do it and to keep on eating healthy, then I would suggest doing it. I do it, and my health actually still improved a lot. You just want to cover it immediately afterwards, and yeah, so I'm going to show you. You can either use this to do the carrots, but carrots is a bit more hardy, so I actually prefer to use this section of the blade. And because my hand is quite far from the blade, I don't have to use that extra tool. And there you can see I can chop up very quickly instead of doing it by hand. And then I'm also going to chop up some of the raw onion. I never used to like raw onion. It always made my nose a bit burny, but chopping it up really fine really makes a difference. So I've got this extra tool that I'm actually going to press on here just to protect my hands, and I'm going to grate a bit, and you'll see there. So here you can see that in less than 5 minutes I've chopped up some raw veggies that I can add to a meal, or I can put it on top of a meal. I can have it as a salad, but really if you've got the right equipment, there's many different types of things that you can actually use to make your life easier. But I just find this is extremely handy. Then I just rinse it off underneath the tap, and I put it on the drying rack, and then it's ready for use again. So yeah, so leave in the comments, tell me actually what is your favorite tool to actually cut up veggies. Okay, so now that we're ready, I'm going to start plating my food, and yeah, just show you how easy it is to actually put a lovely meal together. So I'm going to start with my quinoa, and these were also soaked overnight at least. So I'm going to put some quinoa in here. You know, I actually make these bowls that it actually look like the restaurant versions, and it's so beautiful also to look at. And because I just eat 2 meals a day, I actually make sure I eat enough. I don't want to overeat, but I want to make sure I eat enough. Next, I'm going to put in the broccoli. So I've got my quinoa here, and then I want to put some color next to the white. I don't want to put like a dull color next to a dull color. I want to add some lovely color. So there I've got my broccoli. So there you can see I've got the green next to the brown color. Then next I can actually put in my cooked sweet potato, and I'm going to put that next to the green again, just to have a balance of colors, but you can actually play around. I just love sweet potato. Okay, so that's enough for me for the portion for today. Okay, so there you can see I've got my quinoa, I've got my cooked broccoli, I've got my cooked sweet potato, and then next I'm going to have some of my bean salad, and there I'm going to have a hearty portion to make sure that I've also got enough proteins. And yes, plant proteins is sufficient, especially when you eat it together with grains like the quinoa. And I would say percentage wise, this is about a third veggies and the rest is legumes. So that's my portion of that, should be enough. So the idea is definitely not that you are going to starve. So just see how colorful this actually looks. And then I'm going to put some of my pesto just as a garnish. Or it's going to look like a garnish, but it's actually going to be more than a garnish. There I've got my lovely pesto. And today I'm going to opt for the cashew mayo. I'm just going to drizzle. And I must say this is really such a wonderful recipe. I've also got some chives from the garden I stir in here, and then when I make this it actually blends up, so you'll see like a slight of a green color. But yeah, it's the onion family is also so healthy. You have to try to get that also in every day. So there you've got the lunch. So the only other item that I still need to add is I actually make, from time to time I try to make interesting things. I actually made a raw broccoli, like a cream cheese where you blend up cashews and raw broccoli and lemon and salt. And I'm going to put this on delicious on the cooked sweet potato. So there you have it. You've got your balanced meal. You've got a lot of colors. I'm sure you've heard about eating a rainbow every day because you want to eat multiple colors because there's different phytonutrients in every color. Would you be happy with that? And just to show you that you don't have to starve, this meal I take around between 2 and 3 o'clock on the day, and that actually lasts me till the next morning for breakfast. If you do not have to lose weight, then we would rather suggest not to go just with 2 meals, but then for 3 meals. Yeah, if you want to lose weight, this is actually a very, very healthy way of eating, and your body actually do get accustomed to eating twice a day. I must say I really love it, and initially it was a bit for me to get used to, and initially I first reduced my 3rd meal of the day till I was able to cope with 2 meals. But there you have it. This is anti-inflammatory. In other words, it's not going to cause inflammation in your body. You can also see that I've got healthy fats in here. I've got my avo, which is a healthy fat that's in my pesto. I've got some healthy fats also in the cashews that I made the mayonnaise with. So I've got a complete balanced meal here altogether. So when it comes to putting a plate together, remember the carbs, you can swap for other carbs. So in other words, if you are in the maintenance phase, you can swap the quinoa and the buckwheat. We normally do quinoa and buckwheat in the strict phase, but then you can swap it for other grains. There's millet, there's sorghum, there's many other healthy options that you can swap it with, and that's also gluten-free grains. And then when it comes to like, if you through that phase and you can cope with potatoes, you can swap sweet potatoes for potatoes. And if you get non-GMO corn, you can do that. Also the legumes, you get so many different types of legumes. When we're in the stricter phase, we do like the lentils, your smaller beans, your mung beans, your black beans. It's just less people actually react to that. But when you're in the maintenance phase, you can actually do all the types of beans. There is so many delicious beans out there that you can actually incorporate. We don't do a lot of rice, and if we do rice, we do brown rice, but because of the arsenic contamination and also because of the mold issue with brown rice. So if you want to have brown rice in your diet, it is advisable that you actually cook it just the amount that you need, and you finish it for the day, because there's actually a mold problem with brown rice. And then there's veggies galore that you can go for, but what we just try to do is to do a raw cruciferous daily. We want to do the raw onion daily, and then you can actually rotate your veggies. When we're in the strict phase, we don't do the nightshades, but when you're out of that detox phase, you can actually, there's so many vegetables. People are just restricting themselves to a certain amount of veggies, and really you can have all the colors. Really go out, go to different markets, go to different shops, see if there's veggies that you haven't had before that you can actually incorporate into your diet. There's also many different fats that you can add. There's seeds and nuts. When we are in the strict phase, we basically stick to pumpkin seed and sunflower seeds, cashews. You can make lovely dressings with those. If you add salt and lemon and a bit of water and some herbs, you can make lovely dressings that can make it really a pleasure to eat lots of salads. And and then avos is also a very healthy fat. And so enjoy putting those lots of colors together and make it interesting for you and your family, and you can make such lovely meals for yourself. So inspiring, and you're going to feel so much better. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe and like, and the next video will be up soon, where I will be showing how I do soaking and sprouting. And if it's not up yet, just keep your eye out. I will be posting it next week. Enjoy and have a healthy, happy day, and stay healthy.